Welcome back to Prof E Plays. I'm Prof E, and we are hopping back into Cepheus Universal, where we have Wilbur and company are surveying the Mucoria subsector. And at this point, I remember what happened previously. Let me pull up Mucoria here so you can see that. Right. So what happened previously was that we entered the subsector. We went here to 102. We had something of a scare because Hazel is the one that has a vac suit right now. Our people are not very well equipped. They didn't have a lot of money before they set out. They really couldn't buy vac suits for everybody because they were just given this ship, and it's not the best equipped ship. Now, I'm going to assume that they do have like enough kind of materials to use for repair, but they don't necessarily have a lot of things that they need to do these expeditions that they're doing. But they were kind of nervous about that, so they wanted to find some place that human beings could actually leave without needing anything more than a survival mask. So vacuum is not going to cut it. A corrosive or exotic atmosphere is not going to cut it. It needs to be something that's more survivable than that, right? So that is what we're looking for, and we found that in just one jump away because we do have the ability to jump 2 parsecs. Right? So we jumped right here to this system, 0303, where we do know that the main world here is such. Let's see, it is a large main world, so it's going to have relatively heavy gravity as far as that goes. But it does have a good atmosphere, something that's totally breathable, has lots of water on it, so that's good for refueling. We can get some unrefined fuel that way, and then we can process it without too much trouble. So I think that's good. There are also gas giants around as well. So this is nice. This is a nice place for us to go. So let's go ahead and get into this. All right. So the first thing we need to do is drop my pencil, apparently. Got it. Okay. All right. So the first thing I want to do is we need to do the survey of this sector. So we are on point number 2. So we need to conduct a remote survey of all the planets and stars in the system. Generate the star system randomly, rolling the world profile of the main world. We already have that, right? And then randomly assigning a label to the other planets in the system. Okay, so to scan, it is a difficult astrogation check, which astrogation is a little bit different in Cepheus Universal than it is in Traveler. Instead of astrogation, they just use navigation for everything, which means Hazel, who is not dead, right, gets to roll it at a level 3. So we're going to be rolling 2 dice. We need to add 3 to it and then hope for a 10 or higher. Otherwise, we have to do the survey again. This is a 6-hour thing. 5 plus 3 gives me 8, which is not enough. So we need to make another roll. Okay, so 6 hours spent. It was not completed. That's more like it. So we got 10 plus 3. 13 does beat the 10 that we need. So we did complete the survey that way. So it did take a good 12 hours to do that. All right, so what do we need to do for that survey? Here we go. So each system contains a minimum of 1 star and 2d6 plus 2 planetary bodies. That would be 12 in our case. We have 12 planetary bodies. All right. These bodies are located in orbits around the central star. Okay. To create the star system, first roll 2d6 plus 2 to determine the number of planetary bodies. We did that. Make a note of these bodies on the... Okay, I already did. Starting at orbit 1, close to the star. Oh, so I can just do this. That's easy enough. just draw a line. That's easy enough. Okay, so other stars. Now, many systems have 2 or even 3 stars, blah, blah, blah. Okay, I need to roll 2d6. On a 9 plus, the system is binary, while 11 or 12 indicates the existence of a trinary system. I have a 7. A 7, it's not a binary system, it's just a single star system. Excellent. Okay, so I don't need to worry about that. A main world is placed next, and its location determines the habitable zone of this. Roll a d6, place the main world by counting out from the central star companion. All right, so this one is going to be the star is here. It's going to be in the 0 orbit. And then where's our main world? Our main world is in number 2. So this would be main world, which is a B 68. Or D68. All right, so that then distinguishes the inner system from the outer system that way. Okay, gas giants, we do know that there are gas giants in the system. We've already determined that. Okay, refilling okay, we got that. Gas giants relatively. If there are gas giants present, we roll a d6 to determine the number of gas giants. The answer is on the floor. The answer is 5. There are 5 gas giants in this system. Okay, all right. Roll of 6 has to be re-rolled, and one of them must be placed in orbit 1, becoming a hot Jupiter that has migrated. Other gas giants are placed by rolling a d6, counting out from the main world. Already occupied orbit placed by already occupied orbit cancels out the current attempt at gas giant placement. Move on to the next one. Okay. The orbit is occupied by the main world. Roll a d6. So, okay. All right. So it sounds like we start 1 is the main world. All right. Okay. Is what it's. As long as you're coming out from the main world and it would never be the main world. Okay. So let's do it. So we got to do this. How many times did I say 5? So 1, it's 5 out. So we go 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So this would be 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Gas giant. Okay. Second one, another gas giant here. It's 2, 3. 4. Haven't had any repeats yet. And 5. Okay, that is a repeat. All right, so we do have 4 gas giants in this system here. Very nice. Then we need to look for asteroid belts. For each remaining planetary body not already occupied, roll a d6. If it's a 6, it's actually an asteroid belt. So let's look. Do we have an asteroid belt in orbit 1? We do not. In orbit 5? No. In orbit 8? No. In orbit 9? No. In orbit 10? No. In orbit 11? No. In orbit 12? Yes. So this is asteroid belt. Cool. Now the rest of the planets says any body that remains after determination of companion stars, main world gas giants, is a minor planet, not a main world. Those within the inner system typically have rocky surfaces. Those beyond are icy. Okay. Great characteristics. Use the standard world generation, but with the following guidelines. So in the inner system, our growing size is 2d6 minus 2. So in this case, it'd be a 3 for that. Followed by, for the atmosphere, that's going to be a minus 2. I also need to up here. Although I think oh, so no, size 3 is not automatically 0 under the Cepheus universal rules. I should probably just pull these rules out. So it's size 3, so it's at a minus 5, and then another minus 2 here. Although that was a 12, so it's still a 5. So it does have an atmosphere. It's a thin atmosphere, but not tainted. It's kind of nice. Okay, that's something. And then for hydrographics, oh, it's just going to be a 0 in the inner system. Okay. There we go. And then as we go to the outer system, we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. We have 5 of them to do. The size is going to be 1d6 minus 2. Nope, it's 1d6, not 2. So it's going to be 3. And then okay, hydrographic is at minus 2. Okay, so atmosphere. Oh, wait. Okay. I have some ifs here. So if the size is 3 to 4 and atmosphere 6 plus, so I need to roll for atmosphere. Atmosphere is going to be here. It doesn't actually have a DM for this atmosphere, so I'm just going to use the standard DM, which comes from my book here at minus 5. Okay. So 12 minus 5 would make it a 7. If atmosphere is 6 or higher, it's set to A. So it's 3A. And the hydrographics is at a minus 2. So that 9 minus 2. No, wait, what, isn't it normally minus 2? No. So it is minus 2. Is it? So it's 7. There's reasonable water here at the very least. Part of me feels like I should just draw the sizes and then go. Yeah, let's do that. So let's see. 4. Oh, that's going to be a 1. There's a minus 2. Another 4. And then a 1. Okay. These ones at the atmosphere set to 0. For 4s, neural atmosphere, this is going to be at a minus 5. It's also going to be 0 here. And oh, this one, oh, 12 minus 5 is a 7, which would then get reset to an A. Okay. So it looks like the only places I can even think about going are in the inner system here, which is where we came in anyway. I didn't say that, but we came in the inner system because I knew that I wanted to go to the main world, so it makes sense. All right, then hydrographics here. And there's the possibility of having hydro, right? Yeah, I believe there is. Okay, so let's go ahead and do that. Now, I believe that if atmosphere is 0, that does give us some kind of modifier, doesn't it? No, size 0 to 2. Okay, so this would automatically be zeros. It's these weird ones versus 4. Yeah, where then we can roll it, and it's just 2d6. And then it maxes out at A. Okay, so this one's a 5. Oh, except we do have a modifier here, don't we? We have minus 2, so it's a 3. I think we're gonna have one of those cases where I don't know how to classify something again. 11, okay, that's gonna be a 9 then. It's the minus 2. All right. So now we need to classify these planets. So in the inner zone, we have, let's see, it is five, atmosphere is a 5, the size is a 3. So it is not a hellhole. A desert, atmosphere is a 5. Yeah, this is a desert planet. Okay. The main world here, it's really big. Atmosphere is a 6. Okay, it's too big to be a garden world, but it is otherwise a garden world, so it's just too large. So that would change things because of the gravity. Okay. Um, Continue on down here. It looks like we have 3A7. So what would that be? That means it's a hellhole. The atmosphere's 2. Okay. It's out here. Um, okay, so it's now oh, this is all in the outer. Oh, so hellhole would be here as well, because hellhole, as long as you have atmosphere of A, B, or C, is a hellhole. So that's easy enough. Do I have anything size 0 to 2? I do have these with no atmosphere. Yes. So these would be considered rocks if they're in the inner zone, or ice balls. These would be ice balls. All right. So it's just this 403 that I need to deal with. Um, which, yeah, it has the problem where, again, nothing in my thing gives it a classification because it is too big to be a rock. Has no atmosphere, so it's not a hellhole. Again, too big to be an ice ball. Okay, and it has no atmosphere, so it can't be a desert. It doesn't have quite enough water to be a water world, and the right size to be a garden planet, but it has no atmosphere, so it cannot be. So it's unclassifiable. So, I'm just going to put an X on it. There we go. We don't have a classification for this. It simply doesn't exist, I suppose. All right. And really, honestly, part of me is like, well, maybe the water's the problem. But if I get rid of the water, that doesn't solve it, right? Because it's still, yeah, there's this weird thing where there's a gap in the classification system, so that like there's just certain types of planets you just don't have a type for. Um, I feel like that might. I don't love that fact. I feel like everything should have some kind of classification. Oh well, it's not my system. All right. That's that. All right, so we have now identified everything in terms of that. Let me set this aside now. Okay, the next thing would be locating our survey targets. Is the next step, I believe. Let me double check, make sure I'm not skipping steps here. So we did the survey, we've got all of that. Oh, we need a reaction roll. That's right, don't want to forget that. Reaction roll. And we've got a 5. It's not a good reaction then. Right, so in the 12 hours or so that it's taking for us to survey this area, there are tensions mounting on board. The question is, who is it and what is it? Let's roll it. 6. 6 needs to re-roll. We only have 5 people. 2. Number 2 would be Hazel, I believe. Yes. Hazel is the second person in my book, so therefore she is the one that is not reacting particularly well. So let's find out what her reaction is. So roll the reaction table. 1. Seeks solace. So overcome by guilt, guilt, fear, there's a comma that is missing here. Guilt, fear, loneliness, remorse, or simply retreating to a regular addiction. Drugs, alcohol may be used, but not necessarily. Character withdraw both physically and socially, perhaps threatening the mission at hand. A character with persuade, carouse, or a decent social score might be able to make a skill roll to help the character, else the player can roleplay this out. Uh, Now, my sense is, so probably what's happening here is that this is a really long shift. Right? So Hazel is doing her surveying of the system. It's taking longer than one might expect. She's really stressed out about the fact that, again, there is a planet that does not fit the classification scheme. Right? That really bothers her, I'm sure. Okay, so I think that being the case, she's just kind of stressed out. She needs some time to herself afterward. In this case, I don't think we are that pressed for time. So I'm inclined to say that she can take some time, relax, and this is going to bring us to day's end. So we're almost to the end of the first month of our mission. It's a 6-month mission. Remember, at the end of 6 months, that means we would not get paid anymore if we are not back by then. All right. So the next thing we want to do, we do need to do the survey, find our survey targets for where we need to do a more detailed survey. Now that we have the system survey down. Okay, so we need to roll 3 of these, and then we need to decide where we want to go. Okay, so this is to roll 3 times, and on any of the target tables suitable for the region of the star system. So the main world here, B68, I'm going to say it's closest to being a garden world, therefore I'm going to use the garden world uh, table. I think that makes the most sense to me. All right, so what do we have? So this is planet, it's beta. So this is beta. Do that 3 times. So what do we got? The first one, 13. So on a garden world, 13 indicates mineral deposits. What kind of mineral deposits? 6. So this would be unusual composition. So mineral deposits, unusual composition. All right. The next one is 22. Okay, 22, 6. So 22 indicates linear features. Vegetation. All right. And then as she is scanning this world again, we have 42. 42 would be weather, some kind of weather event. 4, jungle humidity. Another thing I want to do, because some of these mineral deposits, this could be like anywhere. So let's look mineral deposits 8. 8. The mineral deposits are in the savanna. Okay, and this vegetation, this linear feature, is dry with warm temperature. Okay, so it's warm and dry. So it's not a desert because desert is different, but this is kind of a dry area. So I'm imagining here, this is where like you'd have grasslands, but the grass is more of like a yellowed, more of that kind of structure to it is what I'm imagining is happening here. Right, so from orbit, we can tell all of these things as we are surveying the main world in hopes that we can go down and do some exploration at some point. Looking at time, I think we do have time to go ahead and send a crew down to go ahead and explore right one of these areas a little bit in a little bit more detail. Okay. So we're going to go ahead and do the landing survey. I think it makes sense. Let's just do these in order is my plan. So we're going to go down. We're going to check out these mineral deposits. After all, this is something where certainly 100%, this is something that Wilbur would be very interested in doing. So he wants to be involved. Mineral deposits, like he comes from a Belter family. That's what they do, right? Mining is their thing, right? So he wants to know about what kind of mineral deposits are here, right, underneath the savanna. So I'm assuming here there's some kind of like rocky outcropping or something like that. That I'm imagining is what they notice, right? So I think that that's where they're going to go first. So in order to start this survey, so first they do have to come down out of orbit, but that's something that won't take them particularly long. When you look at the like travel times. Oh wait, the initial search. We need to roll that. Yeah, that took 9 hours. Okay. No, I think that's okay. We still have time to come down here. All right, so as we're coming down, how close can we get? 6. Okay, we can land within 500 meters. So we're easily within walking distance here, and we can see it from where we are. It's very, very close. But so we're here, relatively close. How long is it going to take for us to complete this survey? It's going to be a 4-day survey, assuming that all goes well. But we know that things aren't going to go perfectly, right? So we know that out of this crew, I think it makes sense to me, right? Looking at their skills, I think that William is going to stay with the ship. Right? Um, yeah, I mean that just makes sense to me that William would do that. He's the engineer, right? So he's going to do kind of like basic maintenance, that kind of thing. While the other four, right, that'd be Hazel and Wilbur, as well as our pilot Sonia, and then Heidi, the new member of our crew, who is kind of our jack of all trades in a way, though that she doesn't actually have that skill. That skill doesn't exist in the system. But in any case, but she's the one that has a variety of skills that may potentially be useful to us, right? So we're all going to go. We're going to check out this outcropping, see what kind of deposits there are. There might possibly be more underground. So this is something that might potentially be a good place where Wilbur is going to say, "Hey, maybe the family business, right? The Orla company. I forget what I called it, but maybe our company should come out here. So this is a possibility." So he's personally very interested in this. The others, of course, would also like to like find out what's happening because this is what they're here for. Right, so let's go ahead and find out what happens. So they start doing the exploration of the area. Right, they're climbing over things when some kind of problem arises. What is that problem? It's 22. Power systems at the survey site malfunction. Well, this is fantastic because right now we have things we have kind of setting up all of our equipment to do the survey and there are power system failures. The issue that we have is that the person who is most capable of dealing with this is not here. It is the one person we left on the ship doing maintenance. Okay. So this needs an engineering role. We don't have anybody with any engineering skills whatsoever, right? Which means somebody is going to have to just kind of wing it and try to fix the thing. Now, I think you could make an argument here because it's a power failure. Somebody that has some ability with electronics might possibly be able to help here. The problem is that doesn't help us at all because, as I'm looking, literally none of my people have any skills with electronics. Fantastic. So, uh, somebody's just gonna have to wing it. That's really what it is, right? So we're just trying this totally unskilled. It's going to be at a -3 then, which means we're going to have to roll an 11 or 12 to succeed at this. This is looking quite bad for us, most likely. All right, so let's go ahead and look, see what happens. Power system at the survey site malfunction. We got a total of 4. This is not good. Right, so we fail. Okay, so this failure means then that it's going to delay things, right? So it's going to add an extra day. So it's going to be a 5-day survey of this. I mean, I'm just going to say it's going to take the extra day because we had to get uh, William, right, out of the ship. He was in the middle of a bunch of stuff. He's not being particularly efficient because he's not feeling that great about the fact that he got pulled out. So that adds this extra day. So it's going to take us 5 days now to complete this survey. We do manage to do so, though, and we discovered that these are potentially useful um, ores and the like. Something definitely worth writing home about, I suspect. But you know what? I'm actually not sure if that as I think about it, because we need to roll for survey points to find out how valuable this discovery actually is. And because we failed that roll, it is at a -2. So it's a d6 -2. It might not actually be worth anything. Let's find out. Yeah, so actually they're not particularly useful. So survey points, so this one, check mark here, SP1. Right, so we got a single survey point out of this, which is not fantastic. We'll just put it that way. Right, so it took us 5 days to investigate this, to uncover the fact that yes, there and these ores are not totally worthless. It's worth us knowing them about them, us knowing them about them, sure, us knowing about them. There we go. That's the way English works. But nonetheless, it's it's not great. It's not great. Right. So that was our first survey of this particular area. So let's go ahead and find out what the crew's reaction is. 8, right? So we're doing okay. Right? So emotionally, while we know this did not go as well as we certainly hoped, at the same time, it wasn't a huge disaster or anything like that. It did take 5 days, right, for us. So we got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. But on the other hand, we do have a couple more areas that we can check out. So it may be, well, maybe things will turn around. Right? Remember, our hope is to get a total of 10 survey points from any particular um, system that we stop at. Here we do have a couple places that we could go without just having to send Hazel out on her own. Right, so we do have, we're at the main world right now. We could go up to 303 Alpha. Is there the desert world? It does have a sufficient atmosphere that all we're going to need is our survival masks, which we do actually have survival masks for, I believe, everybody. Right, so that would be another thing that we could actually investigate. Right, so I think that is a good place for us to call it. We are continuing the scouting mission, hoping that we can raise some money and be satisfied with that when we get back to our other sector after this job is done. So let's call it there. This is Rafi signing off.